subscribers that I would do more lives. That'll be less editing. So I'm going to flip the phone. Yeah, I did it. And we're going to ask Brian and Bria to say good morning.
Good
What's up, Bria?
morning. You stepped on your phone.
Yeah, that's my old phone. Okay, you're right, sweetie. So, guys, we're going to take you around the food forest. And actually, we're going to use this live to be a before because we got a lot of cleaning up to do. And what you're pointing at, Bria? You want them to see the sunflower? Okay, I'll show it to them. I don't know who's in here. I'm not going to be answering any questions today. I will at the end of the live, but I'm just going to be doing an impromptu, and I'm not on my laptop. I'm on my iPhone. So I won't. Yeah, I can see some comments. Hi, Miss Kia Parks. Thank you for being here. So anyway, if you are not in the live, hi, Erica. Erica, thank you so much for being a loyal supporter. I appreciate you. So I'm not going to be answering questions today. I'm just going to basically be doing an overview of the food forest. We haven't straightened up anything. We're going to show you exactly like it is. And our goal is for us in 2 weeks to have everything set up. Okay, Bria, I'm going live, so you have to be quiet. So now what I want to show you is my citrus trees. Okay, hey Stinky Puddle Ranch. So here are the newest trees to the collection. This is the Arctic Freeze, and I noticed that it has some blooms on it. One right there, and one right there. And remember, I lost a lot of trees. Was it 6, guys? In the big freeze. I'm just going to call it the big freeze of 2020. Hi, Wanda B. Nice to see you. And right here is a Lisbon Lemon. All the lighter color leaves you see here, guys, these are all new. And over here, I'm very excited about my grapefruit tree. It is blooming out beautifully, and I can see even little small, tiny grapefruits on this tree. And let me go around here. It only had one grapefruit on it, Brian and Bria. Don't fight now. It only had one grapefruit on it when I bought it at Lowe's. There it is right there. But it has a lot of blooms, and I see the beginnings of grapefruits. See that right there? Okay, and then this is the last citrus tree that I purchased. It's a improved Meyer lemon. It has a lot of new leaves on it. They're turning dark green, and I'm happy about that too. Okay, hi everyone that came in. Now, you remember a few weeks ago I showed you both of my. Hi, Renee. Let's see, Renee. I just watched your video waiting for Brian and Bria to be dropped off by their dad, and I understand your fear of the lizards. Now, me, I love them, but I can't stand the squirrels. And I used to have a fear of owls, but I overcame that fear by buying owls and watching pictures of them. But anyway, this is the small soursop tree. I've been growing it for 3 years, almost 4, and it's short, but it's in a big pot. And here's the other one right over there. It's pretty tall, and I just let up this umbrella. It's 3 small umbrellas together. Let me show you guys up here. I decided to go with this as opposed to the gazebo again or cover because you know it broke during the freeze. Okay, guys, let's be still. And then here, over here is that other soursop tree, and I'm losing some leaves, but all of the leaves, when they drop, they come back. See the little ones? And they're like a lighter yellow, a lime green, and then they come back and they grow taller and taller. It got sunburned and it went into shock when I brought it out of the house in the spring. Now, let me tell you about these soursop trees. They are very finicky, they're spoiled. Every time you move them from one environment to another, they go into shock, but they smell delicious. And the soursop trees, you can make tea out of it. Now, this is supposed to be the year, either this year or next year, that it's supposed to fruit. I'm not really concerned if I get fruit or not because I'm just drinking the tea because it's supposed to eat free radicals in your body and help you to not get cancer. And here is a beautiful tree. This tree was like a 12-inch twig. I got it from U.S. Fruits. They no longer sell fruit trees anymore. They're out of Texas, U.S. Citrus, and they just sell the fruit. They lost a lot of trees during the big freeze. So what I've been doing here is I've been taking off the damaged leaves and they are growing back and it had a lot of discoloration, but as you can see, all these little leaves are new. And I gave it a foliar spray of chelated iron because sometimes when you see yellowing of leaves, you automatically think it needs nitrogen, and you have to do your research, guys, because every tree that gets yellow doesn't necessarily mean that it needs nitrogen. And in the case of this calamandan tree, my research told me that it needed iron, and I put some on a few weeks ago, and as you can see, it's getting really green and very pretty. Now here is the first part of my patio. The chairs are all disarrayed, and I'm going to clean this stuff up. Brian, you need to pick up this pillow right here that you all dropped. Over here is the last raised bed that I bought. I got this one for just $49 from what was it, Aldi's, and I have stevia growing here, and I'm going to share with you how I extract the stevia and make a sweetener. I'm very blessed that the lemongrass over here and over here survived in the greenhouse during the 3-degree temperature when we lost power. So, Brian, what I want you to do is to move this lemongrass now because it was sick, and I told you guys the last time I showed it to you in a video that I was putting it over here to keep it shaded so that it could bounce back. So I want you to just move it out away from the umbrella so that it can get some sun. Now, right here, guys, are some white potatoes that I found in my pantry. I didn't videotape it. My granddaughter, she's not here, but her name is Maddie. She's very shy. And I named these Maddie's potatoes, but they're actually Bria's because I don't eat sweet white potatoes. And I used to make Bria white potato french fries or mashed potatoes.
I love it.
I
Why
know
did
you
it
do.
again?
I know, but you went back to school, so you weren't eating at my house, right? You remember when you were back to school in March?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
School's gone now.
Yeah, school's out now. So it's these potatoes sprouted in my pantry. So what I did, just a minute, Brian, let me tell them about this. The white potatoes sprouted in my pantry, and Maddie came over one weekend to visit me, and we planted them together. And this soil right here is some old soil, and I'm getting ready to top them off today because you can see, they have grown up a lot. They're a little yellow, not from dying back because we were late I'm sorry, guys. We were late planting them. So they're not dying back. They've just been getting a lot of rain. Very good, Brian. Now, now. Hi, Grandma Grows. I'm just doing an impromptu live. Let me share this tree right here with you guys. This is my first time using the internet on my phone. I'm not on Wi-Fi, so I'm hoping it won't cut off so much. Bria, stop walking back and forth. So look at this tree, guys. It is about 18 feet high. It is a Lee jujube way up there. Now, I want you to look close right here. I only have one. Do you see those jujubes here? I only have one. The rule is that you must have two different varieties, like a Lee and a Lang, to pollinate it. I only have one. So that just goes to show you The settler told me I would only need one because these were growing wild in the Texas area. And it was loaded with flowers and it's always covered with wasp. Just a minute. Zip it. Zip it. It's always covered with wasp and bees, and we have jujubes on this tree. Now, that's not to say that this tree is self-fertile. It could be that the bees traveled a long distance and got here and had already pollinated a jujube tree either in my neighborhood or up to 5 miles away. But it's loaded, especially at the top. And if you look right there, you can see it's been pollinated by insect there. I can't tell exactly what it is. Over here is my elderberry. Again, I was told that I wouldn't get any elderberries because I have the same variety. But I see elderberries. The Elderberry Facebook group that I joined told me don't worry about it. Next year you can get a different variety. You can make champagne, you can make wine, and you can make syrup out of the flowers. But these flowers are falling off. Let me see if I can find what the flowers look like. Yes, right over here. I have a bush planted right over here. You can see it in the ground. And I mean, I cut this bush down to only 4 feet because it was blocking the fence and I couldn't get in. So I tied it up, cut it down, and now you can see elderberries, the beginning of elderberries, all over where I was told that I wouldn't get any elderberries. Okay, hey guys, I'm live, okay? All right. So now, let's share the rainbow Swiss chard that I put in here. I broadcast some seeds. And you see the yellowing of these two grow boxes here with the, what do you call these, contender beans. But check this out. Bria and I just harvested some yesterday. I still have beans. Bria, you want to come and harvest some beans for me? I really didn't think. Both of you can come. I really didn't think Bria, don't block him. I really didn't think that I was going to get hardly any beans. Okay? Brian, you can harvest out of this box. Bria, you can harvest out of this box. Brian, don't take them any, look, Brian, don't take them any smaller than this. And you can put them on that table under the umbrella. And you all stay here and quietly harvest the beans while I'm taking everybody around the food forest. Remember, guys, this is impromptu, no cleaning up. You're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is what happens when you get root rot. See this? This won't produce any more beans. Only the ones that have vigorous green growth will produce beans. Hey, Angela. Girl, you know you made me want to jump through my monitor and eat some of those blackberries and raspberries that you showed in your last video. Wow. And speaking of that, I want you all to know that my Methylene Plum tree, one of them, I have 3 of them. Very good, Bria. They made fruit for the first time on one of the trees. Actually, all 3 of them, but all the fruit dropped off of 2 of them, and the one behind the greenhouse, it maintained, about 20, 30 plums, and they all ripened in May. And then I noticed that the birds, while I was waiting a few more days for them to get a little bit riper, some of them, the birds started pecking them. So I said, shoot, this tree's too big to cover. I am not going to lose my, hi Crystal, I'm not going to lose my plums. So I harvested them all a few weeks ago, put them in the vegetable bin of the refrigerator, and guys, I forgot about them. And I washed 4 of them off this morning and tasted them. They had a more tart taste to them than the original ones that ripened on the tree, but it let me know that if I'm going to make preserve or something out of that, maybe add stevia for me, regular raw sugar for the children, it'll be okay to harvest Methylene plums, Methley plums. I got them from Stark Brothers. Now, this is what Bria, I wanted you all to see as soon as I turned on the camera. I want you to know, let me see if I can get up under this table. This garden bed, you see that garden bed back there with those society garlic? That's where those sunflowers are originating. I'm gonna go up over this waist high grow box platform, and then I'm gonna go way up in the air about, woo, I'm thinking 15 feet to let you see those sunflowers. Now I can see a stink bug from here because I recognize them. I'm gonna see if I can go a little closer to let you see. It's hiding because it hears my voice. But that's okay. And here's another one getting ready to flower right here. So it's three of them. And they just, I don't know what happened, why they grew so tall. They've never grown that tall before. I saved the seeds and I'm just excited. Brian has his hand up like he's in class. What's up, baby?
I think it's 14 feet because he put
Speak loud and speak into the camera.
I think it's 14 feet.
14 feet?
I counted the tree and
You kind of approximated what it was, how tall it is? Okay. So that's not too far off from what I said. What do you say, Bria? Guys, Bria went swimming yesterday. Her mommy haven't washed her hair yet. She's gonna do it today. What is it?
I got this much.
Wow! Look at all the beans.
I got this much.
Okay, keep on counting. Harvesting. You can go behind here, Brian. There are beans back there. Okay, now I'm gonna show you my sea of tomatoes, but I want to show you this tree. It's not a edible tree. It is a magnolia. The name of it is Saussure, or you could say saucer. I hear people calling them different things. I call it a Saussure magnolia. And this is what the blooms look like. They're purple, not like your traditional one, but they are beautiful. And this tree, I've had it for 4 years, and I just bought it because my research told me that it attracts hummingbirds and a lot of other pollinators, and you can see it's getting ready to bloom all over. I'm excited. I trimmed it back maybe a little too much, but it's forcing it to bloom, so I guess I didn't make too big of a mistake. Okay, so now I'm going to turn around and pivot, and I'm going to share with you that this black brown turkey fig died all the way back, and it's getting hot here, and I saw some stink bugs on it yesterday. So what I did was I sprayed it with neem oil, and it got up to like I think 92 yesterday, and so you can see these leaves are a little burned, but it's okay. They'll come off and they'll still produce.
Mom, that's my side.
Okay, Bria, I'm going live. Brian,
He's on my
don't go
side.
on her side. Come on, let's not start arguments. Well, I'll put Bria on both of the grow boxes and have you to sit down. Thank you, Bria. Okay, so here are my muscadines. They are noble muscadines. I purchased them from Isom Brothers 3 years ago, and they're beginning to make fruit. This is how they start off real small, and then they, develop into fruits. Now, these won't be ready until August, September, and they sprawl all the way over this garden bench with a trellis all over the other side of the 6-foot privacy fence. And I was trying to experiment. Here's a little owl. I was trying to experiment by putting it on some tomato cages, but it's not working because it moves too much. So I will move this, and maybe I can get some PVC pipe, and excuse me, for now, I know you couldn't see that. For now, I'll just put it here on this T-post. Now let me show you the grapes I'm having trouble with. They have black rot. You see that? And I've been treating them, and it's supposed to be okay for my area. Let me see. Can you see that? This is the second year. I think I'm going to take them out. I'm not going to be fighting something every year. And this happens because we get too much rain. So I think I'm going to take them out. I have only 3 vines. And I think, hi, growing with Donnie. I think I'm going to replace them with muscadines because they can take the high humidity and the rain. Now, I don't know all of my apple trees by heart. Let me see if I can look at this one. It's a Dwarf Supreme Red Delicious apple. This is the second year that it's fruited. I've been removing some of the fruit, look, and you can see it down here, and I just dropped one. And this is blight when your plants get too much nitrogen. So now I only give the plants, I'm gonna put this right here because I don't want that to go in the basket or the container. Now I only give them comfrey tea. This is before I knew any better. I was giving my trees too much nitrogen. Over here, around the grapes, I have planted, what do you call that? Mexican Petunia. I only planted it one time. This is the third year. They make beautiful lilac little colored flowers. You'll see in a few months or a few weeks, I should say. And over here, around all of my fruit trees, I am planting comfrey. Russian blocking 14 comfrey. I'm planting it slowly but surely around all my fruit trees. You can see here, these two fruit trees. If you watch my videos, you've been with me for a while, you see that Bria and I planted the comfrey here last year in the heat of the summer. And so it's coming back, but it's dying off. And what I'll do is I'll have Brian, because he's real safe with scissors and knives. And I'm going to let Brian come in here and just chop and drop this. I called your name. I was telling you, you're really good with a knife, propagating things, and you're very careful with scissors. So I'm going to let you do this today. You're going to cut down all of the comfrey down to about 1 foot. Okay? And you're just going to leave it there. Now, you know this is comfrey with the seeds on it, right?
This?
Mm-hmm. You know the texture of the leaves.
Actually, I
Okay,
don't
move
know
out
the
the way.
scissors.
But you see this over here with the little spiky leaves? This is Mexican Petunia. So you're not going to bother that when the time comes, when we're finished the live, okay? But that, yes, you can cut all that down to 1 foot.
I know how to use scissors.
I know you do, baby, but I have another job for you. Okay, come on over here, guys.
Better than
I
him.
want you to. You can do it better than Brian. Yeah, really.
Oh,
Bria is competitive. She's a little bit too competitive. She can't help it. She got it honest. She got it. It's just she's just like her mother, my daughter. Come on, come over here, baby. Now I want y'all to walk to the back of that fence, cause I want everybody to see how tall. Go back there. How tall my comfrey is. It is overgrown, guys. Can you see that? Let me show you the ground right here. Let me go up. Are you all afraid to go back there? All of this is comfrey. I'm behind. I'm going to have to cut it down soon. I'm just going to take a machete or a reciprocating saw.
go
Come on out.
to it.
Come on out. And just start cutting it down. And then we're going to put it in a big a mesh bag and put it in a 33-gallon garbage can with rainwater. And we'll just share it with you. Now, check this out. Here's more comfrey next to this plum tree. But you see the discoloration of the leaves? This is a Santa Rosa plum. This happens when you get too much rain. But it's okay because the rainy period is over and now we're getting ready to go into our hot drought season. I'm really perspiring and that's because it's very humid. Okay, right here, and this is the rest of the Concord grapes. Now, right here, let me go down. Yeah, I have a lot of comfrey, Donnie. You see, I have comfrey growing all the way back to this fence. I have what you call perennial milkweed for the monarch butterflies. This right here is a pecan tree that I found in a container with my citrus trees 3 years ago. I have videos showing the progress. It's a monster beast. Now, I've been told that you cannot count on it being the produce, the fruit, because nuts are fruits, being identical to the one that the seed sprouted and started the little sapling tree. So I've been told that I'm going to have to graft varieties of pecans to this tree to make it viable, and I will do that. I've ordered the equipment to do grafting, but I just hadn't got up the nerve and the time to do it. Now you're gonna see chairs all around my food forest, guys, because hi love notes, because I am older and I have to take breaks. So here, right here, is the Texas Star Hibiscus. I planted some seeds over here several years ago. They didn't do anything. Last year, they sprouted up. It's the white one. I'm going to show you the red ones next, or sometime during this live. But this is going to be a white Texas Star Hibiscus. Now, all through this sea of comfrey, hi, Urban Girl Gardening, all through this sea of comfrey, I want you to know that there are two pawpaw trees right over there. This is It'll be 3 years in the fall. And I put them in the ground last fall, and the research showed me that I'm supposed to be shading them for the first 3 years. So I thought the back of my privacy fence would offer them some shade. But if I see they are suffering, then I'm going to erect shade cloth some kind of way. And you see I have solar lights back here. I see one is leaning on there, but as long as it's staying uh, on the fence, that's cool. When I cut the comfrey down, I'll fix that solar light. Now, I see a bumblebee. I'm gonna see if I can get closer. We see the biggest bumblebees and honeybees all around these comfrey flowers. For those of you that are new to my channel, I want you to know that the seeds from the flowers of this comfrey will not multiply it. You can only grow this variety of Russian 14 blocking comfrey from a cutting. And very soon, I will be able to give some people comfrey. Trying to show that bumblebee. Comfrey cuttings. Just send me money for shipping, but it probably will be in the fall after I make sure I have enough for my food forest. Okay, here's another apple tree doing very well. A lot of apples on it. This one's in a 40-gallon container, so yes, you can grow apple trees. You see the blight? I've been fighting it for 3 years. See that? So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this out since we're not having any rain. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut that off like that. Brian, see here, this is fighting blight. After your tree gets about 3 years old, or you've been taking care of it for 3 years old, okay, y'all hear my grand angels. They're not acting like grand angels now. Bria and Brian, be quiet. Come here, Brian. Yes, sweetie. Okay, Brian, you see these? These have to go in the garbage in the house. They don't go in the compost because that's blight. So, guys, when you pull off those brown, deteriorating leaves, make sure that you don't put them in the compost. Now, it's real hot out here, and the humidity is taking my breath, so I'm going to sit down for a second and still continue to talk to you guys. If you live in an apartment, hi, Eco Neighbor, I don't know if I spoke. I think I might have. You still can grow trees in large containers, okay? Just catching my breath. Right here are two mimosa trees. I started them by seeds with the small little leaves. You see the little short one and you see the tall one. They were in containers for 2 years. They grow approximately 36 inches a year. But this one right here, it didn't grow 36 inches last year, but this one is, and it's continuing to grow. So sometimes you might want to plant one or two trees of the same variety, especially if you're going by seeds, to see which one is going to be the best one, because eventually I'll dig this one up and either move it in a different spot or give it to my daughter. Now, let me tell you something about mimosa trees while I'm catching my breath and taking a break, because I am wringing wet with perspiration. No, guys, it's not. Guys, it's not perspiration. It's sweat. It's a muggy hot here. The mimosa trees attract pollinators, especially hummingbirds. I love the way the silky flowers look. Google it and you'll see what I'm talking about. But you have to be very careful because they can be invasive. And just like comfrey, just like the Mexican petunias over there under that tree. Um, they can be very invasive, so you don't want them growing close to the foundational structure of your home so that it won't cause any problems and cause cracking and splitting in your foundation. Thus, you see that I have it toward the back of the food forest. Okay, so it won't bother anything. All of my plumbing, as far as the city is concerned, is located in the front yard. However, this property has a slope to it, so it does have a French drain to draw some of the water out. But I've been here 30 years, so I've been slowly building up the soil with topsoil and wood chips to level it off. And so I bury my trees. Look at this pear tree. This pear tree had blight for 4 years. But as I said earlier about the apple tree, the longer you have a tree, the healthier it becomes. What I didn't know when I didn't know it, the tree can't hold me responsible for that. But now that I know, you see those little leaves or those branches at the top? They grew this spring. So I'm going to let some trees in the food forest grow as tall as they want to be a canopy for the other trees. And you can see, and I'm going to get up now because I'm rested. You can see that it is loaded with fruit. My research taught me that I don't have to thin this tree out as much. Pear trees have a very strong branch system, so they can hold larger clusters of fruit as opposed to apples and citrus and stone fruit. Now, I planted these. I only had 3 little seedlings that to develop from these echinacea cone flowers. Okay? And you can see that they have just multiplied and spread. This fall, I'm going to dig them up, and Brian and I are going to propagate them to make even a larger hedge. And sometimes when I'm just stressed out, when it's cooler outside, I just sit here. You see a chair right there. You see a chair right here. You see a chair right here. I just sit, guys, and chill and just watch nature. It is so calming and relaxing. Now, right here is where my Gala apple tree was. That was the one that did me in. And my children fussed at me, and I let them because I strained my back, shoulder, arms, and neck muscles trying to pull out a tree like I was in my 40s and not in my late 60s. But I got it out. I dug it all up. Took me 2 days. And so let me show you. See that tree container right there? It was a pear tree in there. And now I'm putting all the wood that I'm not going to wood chip. Anything that looks diseased or decayed. Hi, new art gardener. Anything that looks diseased or decayed, I don't wood chip it. Or, is that right? Yeah, chip it up for wood chips. But I took that pear tree and I put it in here. Now let me show you what I did. I put it up real high. I made a video. It was in the month of May when I did it. And then I built it up so that it will not be sitting in a pool of water. Because when I finally got that Gala apple tree up that had died in the freeze, it was sitting in a pool of water. And that's why it wouldn't bloom. It was just rotting out. Bria, go look on my computer table with the red tablecloth.
Mama,
Just a minute. And go get the spray, mosquito spray.
can we eat lunch? It's 10:57.
Okay, as soon as I'll tell you in a few minutes. Go get the spray so I can put it on you guys. I have a silly question. When you water, do you need to? I don't know what it is, guys. Um, but I'll try to check that out later, whatever that question was. And then I'll get back with you and I'll respond to you in the comments. Okay? But let me share this with you. Whenever you work real hard, one day, rest. Now, I'm not saying you go on bed rest or anything like that because I garden every day. But I didn't lift up anything heavy for a couple of days. Okay? So that my body could heal. And I want you to see right next to that little red chair that goes to my bistro set is a 5 gallon bucket. So when I pull out leaves or anything that is not diseased or a fungus on, I have little buckets. There's another yellow one. I don't know if you can see it. You can see it in the background in that chair. I have them all over the food forest, and so I put my compost in there. So I don't have to be walking back and forth. You got to work smart and not hard. And that's why I always say, grow your own, eat your own. It's not hard. You can do it. Now, I'm not saying go out there and work like a madman. Work smarter and not harder. You can still do things. Now, I want to show you what's next. Let me get this area right in here. Now, I don't know about you all, but I found because we had a lot of rain that my zinnias did not perform like they normally do. Uh, I'm a little disappointed in them this year, and I'm going to put them on punishment. They're going in timeout. They're not going to be my dominating flower in the garden next year. But I do see some activity getting ready to happen here. And here you can see it just a little bit. But I'm punishing them because they didn't perform like they normally do. So I'm going to make this the superstar next year. I'm going to propagate these. You see all those bees? Look, guys. See those bees? Those bees will leave these echinacea and go to the flowers. Now, nothing is flowering right now on the fruit trees, vines, or bushes except for the elderberries. But they will come early and they will feast. What do you say, babe?
I couldn't find the mosquito spray.
The mosquito spray. Look on the table where my computer is, my laptop.
I looked there and I didn't see
You
it.
didn't see it. Look outside by the door. Okay, so here I have some. Oh, I gotta put my phone back in the right position. Here are some rainbow Swiss chard. Just by accident, I found out that it will grow all year round here. And of course, you guys know that I grow a lot of marigolds, and these are spiders. But I don't kill the spiders because they eat a lot of other insects. Okay, when I walk up there, Bria, I'm gonna find it for you. Here is the butter crunch lettuce. I told you I was gonna leave 4 of them to go to seed, so I never have to buy them. You know, growing food and saving seeds is like printing your own money. Here are more beans. We didn't harvest yesterday. We went one day. Look at that, guys. Even though it's trying to have serious root rot. Look at here. Now, these I will leave on and let them grow big and hard so that I can save seeds. Okay? So I'm not going to let Brian and Bria over here to harvest these. These will be my seeds for next year. And I can grow some in the fall, too. Okay, I saw something when I was sitting down. Yeah, look at that. These don't make it in the house, guys. And because I'm an organic gardener, I just sit out here and have my breakfast. I just sit out here and eat. Then I go inside. And sometimes I bring it inside and I'll wash it and make oatmeal or something. Okay, now I'm going to show you my Fuyu persimmon tree. See the persimmons? This tree is 4 years old. Yes, baby.
It's 11:02.
Okay, go ahead, have your lunch. Tell Brian to have your lunch. My daughter packs their lunch when they're coming over to visit me. So, if you look down here on the ground, every time I turn the selfie stick, yeah, that strawberry's a big one. Every time I turn my selfie stick. I gotta really remember not to do that. But anyway, here's my Fuyu persimmon. This is the fourth year. It drops a lot of fruit every year. They say about the fifth and the sixth year, it's gonna stop dropping a lot of fruit. But last year we got about 2 dozen. So if we get that or approximately that much, I'll be happy. I had to sacrifice some branches here so that I can have a clear walkway from here where I'm sitting all the way to back there. Now, right next to it, what you're looking at right here by that old shed or in the view of the old shed, that is a Yates persimmon. That was a twig. This one I got from Tractor Supply. This one. This one I got from Stark Brothers. It's an American persimmon. It has to go through a freeze or a heavy frost in order for the fruit to not be astringent. But it is self-pollinating, meaning it doesn't have to cross-pollinate. It can handle the pollination of the fruit itself. Who is that? Hands in the Dirt was talking about, I saw his video this morning where he was pollinating his, or helping pollination with his battery operated toothbrush. And when you have a lot of wind where I live, you don't have to do that. But I like the fact that he was showing what he does and what it works, how it works for him, and that can help other gardeners, guys. So don't be so quick to go like, oh, why are you doing that? I don't have to do that. No, everybody has to do what they have to do for their garden, and somebody will see that video and will know what to do if they get a lot of blooms on their tomatoes, but they don't make tomatoes. So the Fuyu persimmon is self-fertile, meaning that the embryos are male and female, and the wind will pollinate them. And the Fuyu persimmon, you can eat it at any stage. You can cook it green once it gets big. You can eat it when it's orange. You can eat it when it's soft. You can eat it when it's super mushy soft, okay, like custard. But this one over here, the Yates, I haven't gotten any fruit yet. I have a few pieces of fruit on that tree, but I'm not expecting it to hold on to it. Now,
Your mama, do you want this?
do I want it? No, I don't want your lunch.
No, that's not my lunch.
Okay, I'm doing the video, sweetie.
Here's your lunch.
Okay, I don't need anything right
Okay.
now. Oh, your mother sent me a sandwich. Yeah, she told me. Okay, you all go sit down. If you need scissors to open that, just get the scissors, Brian. Okay, I'm in the video. I'm sorry.
I want that.
So this tree, the Fuyu, is real big. It was small when I got it. Um, but look at that trunk. Look at the girth on it. Hey guys, I'm doing the video. And this one right here was a twig. Now I'm going to show you. This is a new compost pile. I saw a bull, the bull's gardening, and he was doing composting in place. And I took some soil out of that pear tree right here when it was in the container, and I just dumped it right here, and I was going to pick it up. And then I said, I'm not going in that shed. So for the next 6 months, I'm going to just leave it there and compost in place. And then I'll use that in the spring. Okay, now let me share. Let me get up, and I'm going to share with you Methylene Plums. And this is what I do when I know I'm getting ready to trim something out. I just bend the branches back, and then I'll come in with a saw, and I'll cut it out. Here's a Methylene Plum, and there's one on the other side of it. And they made fruit, but they all dropped off in the wind. And this is the one that made fruit and hung on. That I told you I was eating some of the fruit this morning. Okay. And then back here are my last 2 apple trees that I put in the ground last fall. They're growing like crazy. I'm very excited. And I see evidence of blight right here and here. And I'll come and put those leaves in the garbage. And I thinned out these trees, the fruit on them, to 2 or 3 to a cluster. Now this is what I want to show you right here. I'm trying to be careful and not uh, change the setting of my camera phone. You see that those leaves right there? Let me get my finger in here. That is growing below the graft. That is taking up nutrition that I don't need for it to take up because I need the tree to concentrate on all of the beautiful fruit that it's putting on. And the same thing is happening right there. You see that little branch coming out below the graft? And the graft line is very obvious because you can just see right where that hump is. And the same thing here. So whenever you see any branches being grown below the graft, prune them off because it's just taking away energy from the tree itself. What is it, Brian?
When can I have lunch?
I just told y'all to have lunch.
Because in order for me to eat lunch, we have to cook the pizza.
You have to cook it? What did your mother bring? Sin.
Party pizza.
Pizza?
It's called party pizza.
Party pizza you can put in the microwave? You can do that, Brian. You're 8 years old. Take the stool and put it by the microwave and be real careful. I trust you. You can do it.
He can reach the microwave, Mama.
I know he can. Go for it, Ryan. Did you wash your hands? Go. I'm doing the video.
But my dad said in order to eat it, we need to cook it.
Go ahead and put it in the microwave for 2 minutes. You can do it. Brad, would you bring me a sparkling soda? I'm sorry, guys. And you see right here, you see this? Hi, an everyday life of an OCD-ish district. OCD-ish. I'm trying to say OCD. I'm sorry, baby. I murdered that name. And you see my little owl right there? I'm going to try something different. I'm going to take these, see right here? I'm going to take these 7-foot T-posts, and then I'm going to put a PVC pipe on top of the post to see if I can get it to stand up a little bit higher so it could peer over the privacy fence. This isn't working. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Hey, do me a favor. No fussing now.
Yes.
You support Brian. Let Brian take the lead and do the pizza, okay? All right. Now, guys, over here, this is my eyesore. I paid a lot of money for these rain barrels. The spigots froze in the freeze about 3 years ago. I never got around to having them repaired. And you can see little containers and tops to containers, tree tops, stuff I was using over here for the emergency garden. Oh, guys, here the mosquito spray. I knew I put it on the table somewhere, but I couldn't remember. And these are those little concrete block pans that everybody was growing food in last year. And I'm not using them this year, but I grew a lot of food. A lot of you all started following me when the pandemic first started, and I just grew food and just gave it away. I grew so much food. And somebody told me stop showing it on Facebook because you're supposed to do things like that from your heart when you have compassion. You're not supposed to be just, I don't want to sound super religious, but you're not supposed to be doing it like for show. You're supposed to have compassion. So I stopped filming them. Yeah, those are rain barrels. They're expensive. I remember they were like $275 from I got them from Amazon. This little brown one, I got that one. That's cheaper, less than 100. But these two big ones right here, they hold 75 gallons, and I really need to get on it and get somebody to repair it. You know, that's my other cell phone ringing, guys. So just ignore it. It'll stop. Okay, now I'm gonna show you something, and I want you all to forgive me. It is something that I rarely do. I'm going to show you these apples before I move on to let you see that it's loaded. I think this one is going to be a red delicious and the other one is a golden delicious. And here you can see the back of the, I haven't pulled that shade cloth down all the way, but the back of the greenhouse, I put the cover on yesterday. Now, I'm going to show you the bad part of my food forest. I'm not embarrassed because it's really not that bad. Out of my whole food forest, this is my junk area. Can you see it? Hey, hoeing and sowing, gardening. And I've been slowly giving these buckets away. And I started these buckets, I want to say 7 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. I had to have a major surgery. And I couldn't give up gardening. So my sons came over and they bought me a lot of buckets and put the soil in it. And that year, I grew everything in the bucket. So this is my dump area. Now, above that fence, you see that vine growing up there? Those are no, let me see. Thompson seedless grapes. I bought 4 cuttings on eBay and they never materialized. And that's where you have to be careful and try things out for yourself, because I was told that those grapes, according to my master gardeners, the books that I purchased, they said that they would grow good in Texas in Zone 8A. Some parts of Texas have more rain than others, and this part of Texas couldn't handle it. So, yeah, whoever said that, thank you. This is my junky part. And my late husband was a carpenter, and this is one of the last two sheds that he bought. And I let the kids get everything they want out of it. And so now I'm going to just pay somebody to remove the rest of the contents. And this is going to be my she shed. And I'm going to have windows put in here and on the other side. And you can see it's still in excellent condition. And I'll probably put a different door, and I'm going to make my candles out here in the winter time. That's my dream, to have this she shed done real nicely. So I'm getting a little emotional, guys, and I'm sorry. But my husband had a brain aneurysm, and I never really talk about it, but he was a carpenter. And the reason why I'm getting emotional is because a lot of the stuff that I tried to do is stuff that we always talk about that we were going to do once all the kids got out of college. And when I fussed at him about buying that shed because we didn't really need it, he told me that he broke his promise to me up. Because we promised each other that if we bought something over, I think it was $800 or $500, we would consult each other. You know, everybody has to do what works in their marriage. And he didn't consult me. And then when he told me that he was putting his tools in it right now, but eventually it's going to be Cheryl's she shed, it got to me, and I just immediately stopped fussing. So that's what I was thinking about when I said Cheryl's she shed. I remember him saying that, and I apologize. I got a little emotional, but I'm all right. So here is the pathway that I was showing you guys in that video, and I'm gonna show you. Look how cool that is, guys. And that's why I took those few branches down, and I just love what I did here. Okay, and then I have a clear pathway right down here, and here are my red Texas star hibiscus, and pretty soon, because they flower by the end of May, June, I'm gonna have to put this up some so I can get through this pathway real good. I'm gonna tie it up with some twine, and I want to show you, these are strawberries. I wish those kids would get that phone. Wow, see that? More strawberries, you see more flowers are blooming here. I come out here every day and get them. These are small, but they're very sweet. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you my stone fruit. Here are my 2 cherry trees. This platform is going to be moved, and I'm gonna put, let's see, I have a Windsor Sweet and a, what is that cherry? Rainier. It's expensive cherries. Right here, and I'm gonna put 2 Stellas. I ordered them here. Broke Farmer Broke farmer, I saw him planting a stellar tree, and I said, okay, I've been wanting it. And I told him yesterday, he made me put it in my basket. So I have two right here. I have two, and I'm going to put them right here. I'm going to move the strawberries someplace else. So here are the cherry trees. And then I'm going down this aisle. I'm going to get that phone because it's driving me nuts. Where is it? Okay, you want to know what that alarm is set for? That alarm is set for me to go in the house. Because I can come out here and I'll start working so much that I'll forget that I need to take a little break. So, this is a dwarf red haven peach. That's a dwarf red haven peach. And this is a sun glow nectarine. All of them had fruit on it, but they dropped. This is the only one, the nectarine, that's maintaining its fruit. So the older they get, the better. And I saw these little spots on this peach, and I did some research, and it said it's nothing. As long as it's not in the leaves, no disease. It's just something that happens. And when it gets ripe, you're not going to even see the spots that much. But this one right here is a monster. Now, you can tell, you've probably seen, I have owls all over the place. These two beds are going to get a makeover. Let me see if I can step right here and show you. These two beds, I'm going to do blocks. This is a new blackberry bush. Here's monarch butterfly, milkweed. Here are more cone flowers here. Of course, you all know what these are. Pansies and petunias. And then I have a bunch of tomato plants here outside. They're loaded. I'm gonna have to get in here again and create some type of aisle in here because it is ridiculous. But I keep tying them up, zip tying them up. They have stakes in them. They have cages. They're all surrounded with society garlic. Somebody on one of my lives was talking about the beautiful flowers, and they are. I'm gonna show you, go closer to see. This is what keeps the hornworms away. Okay? So these beds are 4x8, and I have uh, eight tomato plants in all of them. Now, it's over 85 degrees. If these flowers don't hurry up and produce, they're not going to. But anything that has tomatoes, like right there, all over here, and none of these are cherry tomatoes. These are all large tomatoes, okay? They will keep getting bigger and riper, but anything that has a flower, once it's consistently 90 degrees, it's not going to make. So usually I have everything harvested. See the large size there? You can see tomatoes through there, here, all in here, guys. It's a lot of tomatoes, more than it appears. Okay? This plant right here, I'm 5'4.5". This plant is 7 feet tall. A lot of tomatoes, all in here. And you see my little trusty owls. I keep them everywhere. There's a bobblehead one there, and there's one over there. But I don't have any problems with hornworms since I started propagating society garlic. Okay, here are new additions to the food forest. These are gooseberries. We had a lively discussion. I think it was in my internet nephew, Broke Farmer, about gooseberries. This one I bought from Stock Brothers. It's not doing anything yet. I don't think it's dead. Here's the last pepper plants I planted. Here is my Miho Satsuma. Over here are okra and eggplant and rainbow Swiss chard. I'm gonna put in those two beds. And my plan, I'm gonna sit down for a second. My plan for these two beds is they're not gonna be vertical. They're going to be horizontal. They're going to go across this way, and they're going to be narrow. Where there are two beds, 4x8, They're going to be two beds that are going to be probably 3 by 10 so that you can see the tomatoes easier. So I'm downsizing and I won't plant 16 tomatoes out here. I'll probably only plant 12. Okay? Here are my sweet potatoes, and I don't know how this tech soy seed got in it. Well, yes, I do. Either the birds. Hi, Miss B. Washington. Hi, the sweet spot. Thank you. I know the birds carried it or the wind, so I'm going to let it grow. Because let me see who I learned about that Tetsoy from. Yes, yes. Dan's Permaculture Food Forest found out that it's heat tolerant as well as cold tolerant. So I'm going to see how much this one grows. Sweet potatoes are going to go all the way up this little trellis here and climb over. And the same thing, you can see it happening already. Okay, so I think I've shown you everything in this part of the food forest. Now I'm going to go to the prayer garden. I showed you the wheelbarrow. This is the gorilla cart. Bull made a video and dedicated it to me. I thought it was so sweet. He thought I had put the stuff in this one, but it wasn't. I put it in the gorilla cart. As you guys can see, I can't get this gorilla cart in more down the pathway of my food forest. Okay, here are two more trees. These are, one is an Asian pear. It looks like an apple, and the other one is a moon glow. And this is lily. This is the bay leaf. Here's comfrey, even in the raised beds. Here is brown turkey fig. Half of the tree, it was only one cutting that grew like this. But it died all on this side, but figs are all in here, even on the ground. Bria, you remember the last video? Those are my favorite. Then she says, apples are my favorite. And broccoli, everything's her favorite. But that girl really does like all fruits and vegetables because I retired just before she was born. So she is the first grandchild that I kept from infancy to when she went to school. So Bria never ate regular baby food. I pureed everything for her. So she was introduced to vegetables early. I'm going to show you the prayer garden, and then I'm going to come in and show you my greenhouse. Now, yesterday we were cleaning out the greenhouse. Brian and Bree and I had them to take this stuff out, and we were supposed to be putting it in a bag so I could put it in the shed, but they didn't, so I'm being very careful so I don't fall. And you see I have chairs over here. And here are the first sweet potatoes that I started, and I did a video with you guys. And it's too hot out here. Woo! Here are elderberries in a container going to my daughter. My first dahlia has bloomed. Over here, I got this from eBay. Isn't that beautiful, guys? Uh-oh. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for the super chat, whoever that was. I appreciate you very much. Okay. That's my first dahlia. Over here, I have a wild mulberry and a wild plum. Tree had delicious mulberries on it. And I'm going to sit down here for a minute, and I'm going to show you the prayer garden. Isn't it wonderful, guys? Isn't it just beautiful? I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy. I can't thank God enough. Because you guys know I lost all of my banana plants. They were dead. But from the ashes, those mother plants produced all of these baby ones. And it's 17 of them. I only had 13 to begin with. Ain't God good? He gave me more than what I had, guys. So this fall, I will be digging some of them up, putting them in pots, and putting them in different places in the food forest. And then, as they produce offshoots, then I will be giving those away to my subscribers through a contest, or those that are in my Facebook group that has the same name. And I want to tell you guys about my group. We don't play. We don't have no profanity. We don't have nobody arguing. I've left groups because of that. And I'm very selective about who I select in my group. And I have keywords that if they use those derogatory keywords, Facebook will automatically not let the comment or whatever post. I don't know if you all know that, but it's a lot of work maintaining the group. And because I'm a cancer survivor, I do everything I can to live a stress-free life. Now I know everything is not peaches and cream, and we're going to have some stress in life, but I avoid unnecessary stress. And so I keep my group tight and small. And I want to pay tribute to one of the ladies in there. Her name is Deborah Epps. She's my resident plant and garden expert. And when I'm busy with orders, I get on there and I tell them, guys, I'm not going to be able to check in too much today, but I will after I get my orders out. And with the experts, please chime in. And Debbie was the one that kept jumping in and answered questions. So I made her an expert in the group. And there are a couple more that will be when I do it again. But it's a beautiful feeling to get support when you need support. Because I don't care how much you think you know about gardening, there's always room for growth. I'm constantly studying and learning from everybody. I am not a master gardener, but I have mastered how to grow food right here in this spot because the Lord blessed me to pay for my home a few years ago. So I've been here over 30 years gardening in this spot. So I know what will work for me. And I try to share that with other people. But I always tell them, don't take what I say as scripture. I can only tell you what works for me. I knew that I could plant my prayer garden out here in May, even though we were going to get some temperatures that were going to be like 34, 39 degrees. Everything is not going to flower and mature as well as it would if I had planted it later, but I knew that it still would be alive. For example, I'm gathering okra now. I'm gathering okra. Let me see if we got any over here. Yeah, that one right there I'm letting go to seed because I missed it. Okay, you see that big fat one? And here's one, two. They're going to be growing. And you guys know okra grows very fast. People are not harvesting okra in my zone. But I am because I put it out here early. Now, that's the prayer garden. That's the mulberry tree. That's a wild plum tree. I only paid $5 for them. Miss Irene, I forgot her name. Something permaculture forest. She sent me this Mexican sunflower, and I have petunias growing around the bottom. So now I'm gonna be very careful. There's another owl. I'm gonna be very careful. I'm gonna hold on to this tree, and here's the owl right here. I'm going to step over this real careful, and I'm gonna make my final destination inside of the greenhouse. And I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna try to hold this like this. And I'm not gonna even unzip it. Uh-oh. I'm gonna unzip it. I just lifted it up. And man, oh man, oh man. I should have been out here 5 minutes earlier. Woo, it feels so good in here, guys. Woo, it feels so good. See the shade cloth up there, guys? I bought this off of eBay a few years ago. And this is what's going to allow me to let these tomatoes stay on the vine longer than yesterday. Uh, I will go in here and clean that up tomorrow. But at this point, I really don't have to. I'm going to be honest with you. Because whatever on here now is going to make. If that turns into a tomato, if that turns into a tomato over here, if that turns into a tomato, I'm lucky. I had to come across the top of here and cut these down yesterday. I had to top them off like we do peppers. But we top peppers off so that they will get bushier and taller and bigger. But tomatoes won't get taller if you chop them off. I had chopped them off so that I could get the net over it, to get the shade cloth over it. Now, this is so strange because these two peppers I left outside, accident peppers, I'm sorry, tomatoes, I accidentally left them outside. I thought they were gone. They look so bad. I put it in the video. I said, I don't know if they're going to make it, but they did. And they're beautiful. And they have tomatoes on them. So I'm happy. I'm going to just go down this aisle and show you some more of these huge tomatoes. And then I'm going to end this live. And I want to thank you all. Look at this one. This is has broke off. Okay, see what I messed up? I pulled this off. Oh, but you know what? Brian probably cut this yesterday. Brian probably accidentally cut that. But that's okay. Because, sorry about that. That's okay because it will get ripe. And this is leaf mulch in here, guys. So, what was I doing? Oh, I keep this because it was my husband's. It's all rusted out, but I keep it because it was him. Okay, it was his. Trying to get down this walkway so I can show you some of these tomatoes. This is the Amana orange. It's a delicious tomato. And I have strawberries and beans. Bria and I harvested beans yesterday. But look how fast those little ones grow, guys. It's just amazing. Beans in a basket. You don't have to bend over. You don't have to do anything. So I'm going to take these strawberries and put them in a container. I have 3 baskets of strawberries that I'll be growing beans in next year. Whew. See the tomatoes? Those are huge. I don't know if you can see them. Oh, shoot. Shoot. There we go. There's a lot of them in here. You'll be seeing them as I harvest them. Look at those. Amana orange. Cherie, they are delicious. I grow them like every other year because I want different varieties. And then I start more tomatoes for the fall because I'm blessed that my tomatoes in the fall are better than my tomatoes in the spring because they don't go through as much wind and rain and freezing temperatures as the tomatoes in the spring. The fall is better. And look how big that is. That's huge. Let's see, what is this? This says Amana orange, but I might have that mixed up. I don't know. Because Amana orange is a little rounder and smoother. I don't know. Because sometimes I have the kids helping me and they get a little mixed up. Okay, so love notes, thank you for being here. All of you all that have a YouTube channel, please comment now. Hi, Gardening and Cocktails with Joy. That was a good drink you had the other day. I saw your video. And who was that? I think that was Miss Hudson that just was speaking to you. Your garden is beautiful. All of you that have gardens and you're doing content on YouTube, please put your zone down right now so everybody can, so that everybody can check your channels out. Okay? Please do that for me. Bye, Urban Girl, Kiki Soto. Everybody, please, before I go, please put your gardening channel down. You're welcome, love notes. As you can see, I had to sit down and rest. Look through there. Look at those tomatoes. All right. I have to take rest, but I get it done. I do what I have to do. I get it done every day. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. All of you are putting your zones in here. Veggie Farm Garden, thank you for being here. In the Garden Zone, 7B, North Carolina. Lion Crest, he made it. TOC in the garden, the sweet spot. Diversity Love, thank you so much for being here, Diversity Love. Shanana, my lady friend, Shanana, thank you. Gardening with Bernie, yes, that was your garden I saw yesterday. Oh, it's just so pretty. Stinky Puddle Ranch is in the house. Thank you, I appreciate you very much. Rain and Love, I love your title. Growing with Donnie, I love your title. Yes, thank you, Cherie. Everybody, please hit that thumbs up button. Oh, I remind you of your grandmother. That's a compliment. I take that as a compliment because grandmothers, man, they usually real sweet to make it to a certain age. Unless you're a grandmother at 35 and you're in the club with your daughter and your granddaughter at the same time. Okay, everybody, you guys know that I love you and God loves you too. Grow your own, eat your own. It's not hard. You can do it. Bye, everybody. Love you. Bye now.